like you owe them money or something.
Now, there wasn't any major hero that in the previous game that they should fear. I think both teams really played to the T. The Helka we banned out right here. I think still what's open is the Freya as well as the Kido, Myanmar in the first pick. You want to leak out the Freya to them.
I feel it is up to Team Indonesia to ban the Freya. The Jusin, I feel like it's not really scary. The gold laner for the side of Team Myanmar was really well protected, so that's why Shine could truly shine, no pun intended, right there for him. Then after that, you know, the Moskov just unleashing a tremendous amount of damage, especially towards the later parts of the game, especially when it's splash damage as well. I feel right now it's Team Myanmar draft their. They're selecting what they want to pick first, right? Jusin first pick is great because, you know, you can always use the Jusin to deal with that Akai. Myanmar going back into the same bands as well. Phobias, Yves, and Kalia is the same exact bands as we saw as game number 1.
Last band will be the Freya. Akira is still open. Claude as well. Myanmar.
If they want to go B1 Claude, that could also be the case.
Possible it would be Juicing once again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Myanmar's just executional issues. I think everything should stay ceteris paribus, so to speak. But Indonesia, that would be basically Akai coming in again alongside Claude.
I mean, I even though right now the flavor of mine is Akai, but Akai going up against Juicing, that's something that, you know, you see how annoying it is. Even to a certain extent, Team Philippines and Pomo Channel, Sendo actually also find a lot of problems drafting Akai into a Jusin. He's constantly getting picked up. He's constantly, you know, being thrown around. And the worst case is when the Jusin throw a tanky hero back to your front line, then all of a sudden you do a lot of damage to them as well. So yep, Team Indonesia has to bite the bullet. They have to give it Akai. You don't want to give it over to Team Myanmar as well.
Yeah, 100% agree with this draft so far. No changes as of now. I think the only thing that Indonesia should fear is the Khalid once again. For Myanmar, it worked out extremely well for them just because the Akai, the Khalid has so much damage and so much vision play that it brought over to their side that Indonesia cannot really handle the early game damage.
Seems like we're going back into the same exact draft. I'm the kind of guy that likes the variations when it comes to see when I'm watching MLBB. Seems like Team Myanmar is stepping forwards back into that Fredrin, Jusin, Moskov. What's next? You also got your what's it called? Your Khalid. Then after that, your Uranus as well from the side of Team Myanmar. Once again, protect the Moskov. The only slight variation coming off the side of Team Indonesia will be delving onto the Lilia instead. And now, based on this, Lilia can burst.
Lilia is a lane bully.
Against the Jusin as well?
Faster. Yep, against Jusin.
But not
the fastest clear. Is the
Correct.
fastest clearer.
And also you hit power spike at level 1, right? But not known to really take down tanks. Seems like, you know, from game number 1, Team Myanmar is gravitating over to a really thick body to be able to deal and protect the Moskov. Seems like, you know, Team Indonesia picked that up. They are going to take away the Khalid as well.
Yeah, I talked about this, and I think Khalid was a very, very big threat in Indonesia's draft earlier on, especially when you want to run something like a Marcel. You want to be able to run through and run past your enemy to know where they are, give information to your team. But the Khalid is always in the way, he's dealing that damage, and then before you know it, you blink your eye, you're at half health, and then you are finding yourself running back without any information whatsoever. So it's just a waste of time if you have to deal with that Khalid. Also, the Cho creates so much annoyance, and Indonesia just doesn't want to deal with that.
Yep. A lot of roams are getting taken off the board as well. Both these two teams haven't selected a roam just yet. Balearic is a good idea for both of these two teams can potentially use it as well. But I have a lot more hopes coming up from the side of Indonesia Afan as well on the Akai. I feel like the Akai was really just slightly underwhelming, even though, you know, yeah, I did say that there's a Jusin to really be annoying right there, and the Akai wasn't able to do a lot of things because he's constantly getting picked up. But I feel like there's certain cases where Akai could have used the heavy spin to carry and really push and disengage away and pin somebody to the wall so that you be able to do damage. But hey, enough said. That's game number 1. We go to game number 2 right now. Akai, I hope that Team Indonesia will be able to pilot this Akai a lot better. Midfielder Airlines coming in from the side of Team Indonesia.
Taking a page out of Philippines' book. I like it because this goes back to the Ube strategy, and with the Lilia and the Claude alone, you have that kind of zone potential, you have that high burst when you come even close.
Yeah, okay, Team Myanmar bans away the Yuzhong, right? Now, Arlot
opened up.
Low-hanging fruit for the side of Team Myanmar. I feel like Team Indonesia, maybe R4 pick is a better Arlot pick because, you know, every time Akai get pushed, Akai pushes somebody else, that's a free bench for you to dive onto it at the same time. I think Arlot is going to have a bit of trouble going up against Team Indonesia right here because of the Akai and also Mathilda could easily pull and save somebody away.
And even if they time it right, you get the guiding win and you get that mark, you dash all the way back into the base. You highly commit into that one. And speaking of high commitment, that's the glue as well. Super tanky, together with the Fredrin, will create a lot of mayhem for Indonesia from the early game onwards. But well, I think in the Claude in the late game would be able to shred that as well. Lily not too worried about the mini glues as well.
What do you think about Ruby here from the side of Team Indonesia?
Risky, a little bit too glass, I wouldn't say glass cannon, but a little bit too paper thin. Saw how Wiloon played it for Team Singapore. Yeah, it does have that heal potential and a sustain potential, but it might not be enough. Shaoki played a great Benedetta. Hopefully they pulls that out this time.
I mean, there's also a Lapu if you want to go back to something more standard, right? Yep, there you go. I mean, the reason why I was thinking about the Ruby is because you can basically try to hook onto the Moskov. You have a ton of CC or CC monsters, and even if you accidentally fall a little bit too far, the Methoda can also come and save you. And don't forget, you also heal a lot from those glue bits. Do you have an official name for the mini glues? Glulets?
Mini glue, I think just mini glue.
Sure, mini glues. Gooblets sounds like a cuter name as mini glues.
But the L doesn't roll off your tongue. It's so hard to say.
Yeah, it's like what? It's like what? Million reptilian?
What's his name again?
You're the one that coined that name for him.
Mammalian the reptilian. Yeah. I love that. But hey, you know, this is Myanmar's and Indonesia's time to shine. I think a little bit of a changes and shakeouts from the draft for Myanmar. Okay. They have very strong early game potential. Will they repeat what they did in the previous game and eventually close things out?
Yeah, I think Team Indonesia, this is going to be a high octane kind of gameplay. They need to really make use of the map to rotate as quickly as possible. Try to catch onto Shine, try to catch onto Mio as much as possible. Because, you know, going into the map right here, if you don't rotate using the Mathilda, then basically you're wasting the Mathilda. But at the very least, Mathilda in the early game does a lot of damage, so that's a decent poke that you can try to do. But now, as we go into the tank meta is not very susceptible to hard invades.
That's the beauty of a Lilia. So much of a lane bully right off the bat, just destroying all the mini glues around. Power spike since level 1.
Yeah, especially with the fix, right? Lapu is still a solid pick, still cookie cutter and kind of vanilla, I would say. But looking at what Lapu is trying to do right here, I think it's to probably pose a threat over to the Moskov once again. Every time you slash, especially if you have your War Axe, especially when the split happen, you're going to heal all that all the way back up. But apart from that, I don't know, I just feel like there's another better EXP out there as compared to a Lapu.
The better one was banned, which is the Yuzhong. Would be good in their lineup, but Lapu is actually winning lanes, pretty much dominant if you look in the mini-map.
I mean, definitely, right? Arlot in the early game doesn't really have a lot of priority because it's reliant on the cooldowns basically to wave clear as well. But because of the fact that you got the Vengeance that could just heal off that very quickly, I think that's fine, you can sustain in the lane. But his true power spike comes at level 4.
Yep, Alexander's definitely also on the other side of the table going to empower this Lapu because sustain is pretty much the name of the game for Indonesia at this point. Once you get a photo, that is a power spike not only for the Matilda but for everyone around Indonesia. Dingerai having a few day up on the top side, better than the previous game, not playing very defensively anymore.
So the spawn around the bottom side this time round. Level 4 checks both EXP laners and also mid laners. Delvin has lesser impact around the level 4, especially when you go into the ultimate. For the Lilia, doesn't really serve a lot of things. Dingerai, get out of there.
There's a one-on-one fight. The heavy spin already utilized to push everyone back. Alexander down low. There's Lapu coming in. Afan underneath the noses takes down that turtle. And this final slash pushing everyone away. Indonesia, they don't want to risk too much, but they're going for it anyways. Myanmar will lose one member as well.
Man, Dingerai used the BMI to try to...
Oh, SOD! Hey! That's the Moskov! All the way from the top side!
What a lucky shot coming out of Team Myanmar as well, fighting onto the weaker, the weak member from the side of Team Indonesia as well. Oh my goodness, that is not going well once again for Team Indonesia.
What's not going well, the Spears will be a push upon back, but Shine all the way from that bottom side, able to get that recall, taking a lot of damage though. Lost the priority on that lane, but here comes that glue. Afan does have the heavy spin to keep everyone safe and sound for now. Purify also used up by Dingerai, able to get pulled over. Underneath the turret they go. The Green Squad won't be able to extend their reach. No support coming in from that glue.
That's why.
Afan takes up that kill.
That's why I'm not a very big fan about this glue, right? Because especially it's the same thing as you see from other teams, especially they sport the glue. But if you take a look, Xiaoyuki, yeah, sorry for calling you vanilla because you are doing a great job trying to stun up Han so that Alphan was able to secure the turtle right there. However, the amount of damage that the team Myanmar was able to do, especially Arlot, does have a lot of nasty numbers, was able to do quite a decent chunk of damage. And of course, you know, you got the Spear of Destruction landing at just the right timing.
Yeah, a beautiful aim, beautiful three-point shot from that Moskov, to say the least. As Indonesia, though, I think basically that team fight was won on the turtle pit. They need to find a way to capitalize on that one. There was a little bit of a quick rotation from Dingarai down to the pit as well. At least we had the Blazing Duet from that fight for additional damage. Next turtle will be spawning up in 10 seconds on the gold lane.
I feel like right now it's more on Team Indonesia time to act, right? They do have the Methoda early game, and also Delvin this time should be able to scale. Dingarai was trying to join the team fight. I mean, that's kudos to him. But you can start to see the glue, right? Being a bit annoying, especially during team fights. But especially when the possession, if Call did time that glue wrong, Dingarai could just go all the way back into base, and then after that, bring him to no man's land.
Arlot coming back in, Hein. Trying to push Dingarai all the way back. Sending him to half health. Speaking of half health, that is Fredrin being taken out. Bursted down by Dalvin. Afan picking it up. Threatening to Nito. SOD misses everyone in the coagulation.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Once again, the first SOD was great, the second SOD not as great. But Shine is actually down in the bottom lane, opposite side of the turtle. Team Myanmar knows that this Moskov needs a lot more damage, a lot more farm in order to be a little bit more prevalent. Dingarai joining the team fight is actually great because it supplements onto Delvin's damage and Xiaoyuki's damage to a certain extent. And then hopefully they farm Team Myanmar's players instead of your minions.
The high utility coming in from Afan's heavy spin and locking this Fredrin down, definitely not a good look for Myanmar so far in the game. They're losing a lot more priorities in the lane as well. And speaking of which, Blue finding a little bit more information, just being a nuisance down the bottom side. Speaking of the bottom side, the Xiaoki picking up with the kill onto the Moskov.
That's absolutely wonderful. That's the power of
again with the heavy spin, pinning him to the wall. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. That's a pullback. No! The guiding wind won't reach its mark.
No, wait, I think... Okay, hold on a second. I hope there's a replay for this.
That's the final slash once again. Delvin with black shoes. Back at full health. A lot of damage coming in from that Lilia on the top side as well. Mid side though, the Claude bought some time to take down that T1.
Yeah, mid lane already taken down away. I really hope that there is a...
It's just not too much damage.
No, I hope there's a replay of it because I was watching from my own VODs right here, and it's absolutely hilarious, right? Because the guiding wind was actually activated by the side of yeah, there we go. As Nisha received. Take note on okay.
He's making his way down. Alexander in the river.
Yeah, I think all eyes on Alexander, right? Alexander using the guiding wind already to try to dash. Hopefully, try to save Afan, but Delvin took it instead.
Delvin took it. Oh, okay. I thought that was a guiding wind. We were able to pull him back out.
That guiding wind was supposed to basically punch Afan out. Don't forget, Delvin does have the ultimate to try to back off. Instead, well, we have like a lot of... Okay, we're back.
Okay, we are back into the turtle pit. Turtle at half. Hold over to Afan's side. Xiaoki taking a little bit too much damage. Myomin at the position to push the EXP lane away. Indonesia fighting a 3-on-4 in the mid side. This final slash on to Dalvin. We'll use the black shoes to get into deep. Taking a little bit too much damage. Heavy spin will keep him up and alive. Pull the glue away. Blazing the wet will not reach its mark, but take a lot of damage in mid side. As Indonesia will be hitting a lot of, will be taking a lot of damage and will be dealing a lot of damage onto Myanmar. But everyone is safe and sound. No one's falling as of now.
Moskov's up top, just shoving against Team Indonesia as well. Was Team Indonesia for the side of Fan working on the turtle instead. Good damage being poured over to Myon, was able to push him away. The Flicker also committed as well. So it's just how Team Indonesia is constantly handshaking Team Myanmar in terms of these 5v5 fights. They love it and they crave for it. Even the rapid boots for the side of Dingarai was also built as well so that he can rotate all the way down to assist and fight S5 because they know Moskov will be on the other side trying to farm up. If the Moskov lands an SOD, okay, fine, we'll fight 5v5. But if it doesn't, hey, we will fight 4.
That's the engage. Alexander will be able to use the guiding wind all the way back out. The MI, that's a Purify also used up, so the spear won't connect.
Yep. And that's the thing, right? If Team Myanmar wants to fight 5v5 and you're packing on Moskov as well, you need to find a way to confirm than landing of that spear as well. So it's also up to how the rest of the team members on the side Team Myanmar communicate, right? I think the easiest one is from Han's taunt, so that once the taunt happens, Shine can just send down the SOD right at Fredjin. So I think it's a lot about communication, but there's a lot of displacement tools coming up from the side Team Myanmar as well, right? The final slash and also the glue can bring Team Indonesia into the awkward position, causing Shine to miss the SOD.
Now, as we're seeping into the first load of the game, we tend to see quite a bit of adjustments into the gameplay from Myanmar, especially. You're sending Shine to the side lanes to try to deal with the pressure and try to build up a slow minion wave to try to push into Indonesia, which is what Indonesia kind of is unable to handle at this point of time. Teasing a little bit more on the jungle and the top side. We're trying to push in the turrets. No one is initiating anything more.
But the longer the time goes, right, Team Myanmar should have a solid foothold. If you notice the location of Shine not joining the team fights as of yet, Hein on this R-Lot is able to dish up quite a considerable respectful amount of damage. Team Indonesia though, sending Xiaoyuki all the way down bot to basically deal and fix that wave before joining is still okay, but that means that you do not have somebody like a secondary peeler for Dinger, right? Technically speaking, Delvin has the magic shoes to basically go all the way back, helping him just a little bit. The Mathilda as well, but I feel like right now you just need a lot more solid CCs that the Lapu can offer.
Remember, this is expanding rivers, and you said during the start of the game, Myanmar likes this more. Right now, with the Matilda, Indonesia is more positive with this. This is Blink Duet, a lot of damage. Shine goes down. No more Moscow for this next board fight. Indonesia is going to take the lead here.
Good pick up right there coming up from the side of Team Indonesia. Now no more Moscow. And now I think it's just Team Indonesia definitely going to make a beeline all the way to the Lord right here. Team Myanmar has to fight this Lord pit with a bit of a disadvantage.
Upon is still right into the Lord, trying to pull it out. The health is still relatively healthy as Han tries to walk his way in. Heavy spin already utilized way too earlier on. He's trying to push the Fredrin away. The glue brings him back into the fray. Upon falls, no more Kai. The final slash on the 3. Gets that flicker out of the way. You see Dalvin trying to push that Juicin out of the way. Blue, first the fall, just SOD. Moskov joins in the fight. There's a lot of damage coming in from this demon. They take a lot of damage themselves. They're trying to zone everything out, but here comes Dingarai. A little bit of a silver lining for that one. He wants to steal onto this thing. Oh. Yeah, Alexander won't fall, but hands of Shine. It's a 1-on-1.
You said threatening Anita. Right now, it feels like, both these two teams performing brain surgery in that Lord dance right here. They fought, but they completely forgot about the Lord. Now, when Team Myanmar had the Moscow down earlier just now, I thought it was an opportunity for Team Indonesia to pick up that Lord as well to try to rush it down. They've got a little bit more time, and I was expecting Shine to send his SOD down to the team fight right to try support, but he was too busy trying to wave clear right there, and then after that, they bought enough time for Team Indonesia to reconfirm and reconsolidate, and then after that, they both traded 2 for 2.
Indonesia also knew that Afan was down, so there's no point just forcing this Lord fight. Wait for Afan to come back up, right? And Indonesia trying to play that macro game, sending Delvin instead of Dingarai because they know that Dingarai has that damage right now. Delvin is actually sorely needed though. Speaking of which, there's a guiding wind. The circling eagle won't be able to take Shine out. Moskov again finds himself in trouble.
Moskov is not able to play the game for the past 1 minute. He was just like literally revived for less than 15 seconds, and Alexander was sent alongside with Delvin just to burst him down, and this opens up a lot of opportunity for Team Indonesia to pick up the Lord.
No Moscow for Myanmar for so many team fights. He had a field day, I think, in the first game, but this time around, Indonesia is just walking all over Myanmar.
I think you don't send the Moscow over to the side lanes already. Mathilda knows what's up, and this is the Mathilda, right? They could just knock somebody up, has additional burst, send along somebody at the same time to burst you down. So I think Moscow has to start packing a lot of damage right there, coming up from the collateral onto Dingarai.
I don't think he's too afraid of that. He does have quite a bit of heal potential. Itemizations-wise, it's the Holy Trinity already built by Shine. He has the damage, but he's taking so much. The glass cannon on this Moskov.
I mean, you don't build tanky on this Moskov at all, right? But if you notice, Hein, building a Rose Gold Meteor is definitely required, but now the Lawrence marching in against Team Myanmar.
T3 down mid-side. Indonesia tries to look for an angle. The energy eruption already used by that Fredrin. They're looking for Shine. Shine taking a little bit too much. The Princess Rat already hit. There's a final slash onto one. Blue already possessed onto Afan, but using heavy spin, locking them down onto the wall. And the Lord is charging onto the throne. Myanmar is all getting pushed back. Indonesia still has minion waves coming in.
Right now, just Team Myanmar desperately trying to wave clear right here. They do have the Moscow to also push in. The Spear of Misery will land on the Dingarai right here as Team Myanmar desperately trying to wave clear.
Dingarai up on the top side, bottom side in shambles. Delvin taking care of business. Dingarai taking a lot of damage by healing everything back up once again. You got Arlon is manhandling this Claude, but he does everything. You can't take him out. Dingarai This is late game Indonesia we're talking about. The death ball cannot be broken for now.
Blue coming back up to activate the concealed play. Teams of at the very least, Team Indonesia know they may be overextending just a little bit, pulling back because they lost a fun. And you can see the Nagoya, 404. The damage is definitely found right there. Not going to agree with his KDA, but you can imagine, right? The amount of defense coming out of Team Myanmar. They're still in the game because of Sreang with the collateral damage all across the board to wave clear.
A great fight, good cycle from 2K gold lead all the way into 8 just with that one push alone as Myanmar finds himself in a defensive position. Taking a look at the replay, it was just Dingarai healing everything so fast and coupled with a Matilda as well.
And then also, luckily the Moskov is still alive. I think great positioning for him. And the bonk coming out from Han was able to find onto Afan as well to basically put him down to also persuade Team Indonesia to back off my lawn.
The Lord spawns up in the next 20 seconds. Myanmar sitting heftily in their base. Indonesia taking control of the map. This is their playground right now. Together with Alexander and the expanding rivers, they're going to make full use of it. Taking right, 4 kills, 0 deaths. Having a great game on this squad.
Yeah, now the Lord spawned, but Team Myanmar got their hands pretty packed, pretty busy.
Alexander has vision on this red range, making a beeline towards this Lord. Afan wants to try to pull them away from the bottom side. They need to be able to try to find Shine and take him out. Indonesia knows that is the main where the damage comes from. A third of their health. Lord is down low. Veteran tries to go in. Dingarai seals up that Lord. They're going in way too deep, forcing a lot of ultimates coming out from Myanmar. No Moskov, no damage from Myanmar. It's Spider losing battle. It goes wide. You don't have that Moskov right in the mid. Indonesia, they're leading the charge. They're happy about it. They're happy and they're hungry.
Man, if Shine actually land on the SOD, maybe there could be a return kill over to that side of Team Indonesia. But now Team Myanmar has a 3 open base. That Lord is marching down mid, and there's nobody but the side team in Myanmar was able to hold because this is going to be a 4v5.
It's 4v5. That's a circling eagle on top of that Sreang blazing through onto the back line. You got immortality for Dingarai. He's getting safe. He's getting out. He's got a guiding win. He's hitting onto the throne. The Lord will help as well. It's a 4v5 and Indonesia wants to seal the deal with a 2-0 sweep.
Team Indonesia 2-0. Perfect gameplay so far, I would say. In game number 2, a lot more stable as compared to game number 1. Game number 1 was really iffy, but definitely not the wins out of the sails of Team Myanmar. Team Indonesia, I think this game was a lot more tighter as compared to game 1.
Yeah, a very, very solid game all the way from the early game, and all of them knew what to do. In game number 1, Dingarai had a lot of issues with Shine. Mechanically, or during the lane, he's getting a solo kill by this Moskov. In the second game, though, 0 deaths. He understands how Shine wants to play, and that is the adjustment that basically Dingarai needed. Plot definitely showed up onto this one.
Yeah, I think this is a lot more stable as compared to game number 1. Like, I feel like there's a lot of times where Team Myanmar was also already making very questionable moves, and immediately, Team Indonesia start punishing them. But Akai coming in really clutch right here. Like, a lot of times where there's these objective takedowns, he was able to just push people away, and there's a lot more discipline, a lot more communication was made. However, Team Myanmar, I think there's a lot of times where the SOD does not land properly, and then, unable to join the fight as Dingarai just dives into the damage. 505 is KDA, GPM 879, he's farming up the Storm. He's also dishing out the Storm as well.
Not only that, you got the rotations coming in from this Claude down into a lot of the major objectives right from the second turtle of the game. Given the first turtle was that 3-minute extra that he kind of needed to get that a little bit additional damage in order to join in the team fights. I think that Indonesia also, I do want to point out that the entire 5 was drafting around the environment. Knowing that this is expanding rivers, drafting Matilda worked the most makes the most perfect sense. You have so much excess, albeit a little bit more mistakes. No one's communicating who was taking guiding win, and that it left with some hilarious moments as well.
Yeah, and yeah, the Matilda was kind of sus for that one game, for that one sequence only, but the rest after that, Alexander executing down to the T. And of course, especially if your enemy is packing a Matilda along the way, you don't send a Moskov, you don't send anybody towards the side lanes, because the side lanes is pretty vulnerable unless you're Uranus, right? I feel like for Team Myanmar, the Uranus was really a low-hanging fruit. But maybe it's just that they realize that, hey, they need to pack a lot more damage. Therefore, the auto comes, if you notice, his item is Fairy Hammer, half build that I think is on the way into a Hunter Strike as well. The auto is able to dish out quite a considerable amount of damage, but There's also another problem for the side team Myanmar, right? Because the Lapu is already scaled. You also got Delvin can just land bombs over and over again. Alexander can pull and save anybody if he overextends. Heck, even Afan, the heavy spin, I think also acts against what the Arlott wants to do, right? Arlott can get very squishy if you constantly land the CCs onto him. If the Arlott wasn't able to dash, he's unable to heal.